Hey guys, what is going on? I hope you all are doing well today. Elliot here, and welcome back to The Fragrance Well. We're winding down towards the end of the year. One thing I kind of like to do, or at least I have done since I started collecting, is sort of tally up my pickups for the year, my pickups for my collection, just kind of see what did I get, how did I do I have any major regrets, do I like more than I dislike, etc., etc. I tallied up my fragrances for this year. I got way too many of them this year. I am not getting this many next year. If I counted correctly, there is 78 or 79, because I think I missed one. I think there's 79 fragrances I added to my collection this year. I am not doing that every year. That is way too much. If I wanted to wear each of my new fragrances in my collection at least 1 week out of the year, I couldn't do it. I bought too many of them. So I was thinking I would go over all of my pickups until I realized that that's how many I had, and I said there's no way I'm doing that. So what I decided to ultimately do is I'm gonna do my best 20 pickups for the year of 2023. I might do a worst pickups video too. You guys let me know down in the comments if you might want to see that. But yeah, we're gonna do the best 20 fragrances I have added to my collection for the year of 2023. I could have ranked them. I chose not to because some of these fragrances I've literally had all year, didn't even realize I've had them all year, and then some of these I haven't even had for a month. So I don't think that's very fair. So we're just gonna do the top 20. I picked the 20 out of my fragrance collection, out of the ones I picked up for this year that I felt were the best pickups. So obviously we got a lot of fragrances to get to, so let's go ahead and get it started. But before we do, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you do like the content, and remember to hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get it going. Before we get started though with the list, I got two honorable mentions. These are the last two fragrances that I have acquired for the year. I literally just got them, so I can't really include them. It's not going to be fair. That's Parfums de Marly's Carlisle. I imagine you guys, many of you are very familiar with this one. I saw it for a good price, so I finally decided to go ahead and pick it up. But yeah, Parfums de Marly's Carlisle. I'm not going to go into too much detail, just don't have the time. And also another one from Arabian Oud. It's Majestic Woody Intense. So this is a majestic flanker, and I believe it is the most popular flanker in their majestic line. So these will be featured in later videos. I'll go into more detail about them, but I'm pretty sure you already know about Carlisle, but some of you might not know about this one. All right, so again, these are not ranked, so they're in no particular order. Starting off with Guerlain, we've got L'Instant de Guerlain Eau de Parfum. L'Instant de Guerlain Eau de Parfum. This one reminds me of a chai tea. It's a spicy, somewhat chocolatey tea fragrance, a lot of patchouli in here, some tea accords, of course, an assortment of spices. The reason I am putting this on the list is because when I got my nose on it, it literally blew me away. I was kind of taken aback by the star anise note that's in here at first, but I sprayed it on skin and kind of let it sit for a couple of minutes, and it instantly started to blow my mind. So this fragrance is on here for that reason alone. It literally intrigued and captivated me and impressed me. It's not one I have worn enough, to be honest, but that's why it's on the list, because the scent profile alone, I don't have anything even close to smelling how this smells, and this one just impresses me every time I get my nose on it. Once again, from the house of Guerlain, L'Instant de Guerlain Eau de Parfum. Next up, from the house of Marc-Antoine Barras, this is Ganymede. Marc-Antoine Barras Ganymede. If you've been watching my channel, you shouldn't be surprised by this. I talk about this a lot. So this one impressed me when I did get my nose on it, and then I bought it and started to wear it more frequently, and it instantly became one of my favorites. This could easily be, if I were just gonna have like 5 or 10 fragrances, this could easily be one of them. So this one impressed me, and it's one that I wear frequently. Very mineralic fragrance, a lot of saffron in this, has an orange flavoring to it. You got mandarin, you've got osmanthus kind of contributing to that. Great note of immortelle in here, a couple of other facets, some leatheriness to it. It's an amazing, very unique fragrance, or at least it was when it came out. A lot of people have kind of copied after this, or there's just other versions of it, so to speak. But all that being said, that is why Ganymede has got to be on my top 20 pickups for the year of 2023. Once again, Ganymede from Marc-Antoine Barras. Next up, from the house of Orto Parisi, we've got Bergamask. Orto Parisi's Bergamask. I got a sample of this one, kind of went through the sample and was blown away by it. So was my wife. Blown away by how strong it was for it being a fresher fragrance, and also I just really like the scent profile. No official notes given for this, but there's definitely a lot of bergamot in this. There's a very slightly animalic musk. When you smell it close, you really get that animalic nature, but in the air, it is to die for. There's some woodiness to this. There might be some other clean-like notes with it as well, but I was blown away by this, and I really enjoy wearing it. I've kind of put it aside since it cooled off to give some other fragrances room, but this could easily always be a warmer weather choice for me, and I really enjoy this scent. Also really good compliment getter too. So once again from Orto Parisi, this is Bergamask. Next up from the house of Hermes, we've got Terre de Hermes Eau Givree. Terre de Hermes Eau Givree. This one I smelled in store, got samples of. I think I had like 4 sample bottles of it because it kept coming with other purchases. Blown away by the smell, and I wear this a lot. So it's got to be in the top fragrances for this year, in my opinion. There's already a little small dent in it. The dent will get bigger because as far as I'm concerned, this is a summer staple. I got to have this in my summer rotation until something that gives what this gives comes along and is better than it. But this is basically smells like grapefruit juice. I'm not one to really eat grapefruits like that, but I do enjoy the smell of it, and it really comes through nicely in this fragrance, even though the note is citron, but it's similar to grapefruit, so that doesn't matter. Once again from Hermes, Terre de Hermes Eau Givree. All right, next up, coming from the house of Day 3 Fragrances, we've got Bonnie. Day 3 Fragrances, Bonnie. So this fragrance is mango and coconut vacation vibes. Great summertime scent, great warm weather scent, great vacation scent. First of all, I was blown away by this because I'm like, that is just, I like fragrances like this, and this one was done so well. Also, I should have had this in the last video of my, signature scents video. I forgot. I actually wore this for like a week. I just forgot about it, and I only wanted to put 10 on, so I didn't want to have more than that. But that's what this fragrance is. So it impressed me, and I've worn it a lot, and I'm definitely going to wear it more again, especially when it warms back up. So it deserves to be on my best acquirings for 2023 list. Once again, from Day 3 Fragrances, this is Bonnie. All right, I got a couple from Nishane. The first one is Papilefiko. Nishane Papilefiko. Talked about this one quite a bit on the channel now too. Now, when I first got this in, and this was a blind buy by the way, I wasn't necessarily blown away by it. I did like it. I did really think it was great quality. I enjoyed the smell of it. This one kind of turned into a love of mine because the more I wore it, that's when I kind of realized the magic that this has. Relatively simple fragrance, balsamic, clean, spicy, but when I really started to give this a couple more wears, that's when it turned into one of my favorites. I'm like, oh, I gotta have this in my collection forever. It's a scent profile that I don't really have anything that similar to, and if I do, it doesn't quite give the wearing experience that this does. So I think it deserves to be on the top 20 list for 2023. So once again, from the house of Nishane, this is Papilefiko. All right, and the other one from Nishane is going to be Fan Your Flames. Nishane, Fan Your Flames. Now, I actually forgot that I actually bought this year. Reason being, it was bought way back in January at the beginning of the year, so it feels like I've had this forever, but it's part of this year, so it needs to be on this list. And how could I not put it on this list? This is one of my favorite Nishanes, probably my favorite, other than Hasavat. And when I first got my nose on this, it did blow me away. It instantly captivated me. I said, I have to have that. And it's just one of my favorite fragrances in general, especially on the tobacco side of things. And it also triggers a scent memory, or at least a memory, so to speak. Vacations in Jamaica, for whatever reason, it makes me think of those. So that's why this fragrance, I think, deserves to be on this list, because it truly captivates me. I love wearing it. Matter of fact, I need to wear it again because I haven't worn it in a while, giving space for other fragrances, but this one deserves to be on the list for sure. So once again, from Nishane, this is Fan Your Flames. All right, next one is from Louis Vuitton, and this is Pacific Chill. Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill. Now this one here captivated me, intrigued me, drew me in. I went into a Louis Vuitton store with intent to buy a Louis Vuitton fragrance. I was either going to buy Afternoon Swim or maybe even Ombre Nomade or La Mansate, but I said I wanted to get my nose on this because it just got released. This beat all those out because it was that impressive to me. Beautiful citrus opening and lots of fruit and green vibes to it. I love this fragrance. In my opinion, this is the best designer summertime release for this year, if not one of the best designer releases for the year overall. So for that alone, I gotta put this in the top 20. It wasn't even a decision in terms of whether this had to be in the top 20. So once again, from Louis Vuitton, this is Pacific Chill. All right, next one's from The Harmonist, and we've got Hypnotizing Fire. The Harmonist, Hypnotizing Fire. Another one I've talked about on the channel pretty frequently, so to speak. So you guys shouldn't be surprised by this. This is an amazing fragrance. It is very expensive, but and I actually wasn't planning on buying it when I did buy it, but I knew I wanted to get it at some point. And listen, this fragrance literally makes me envision watching a fire from start to finish. More like a campfire, maybe not a raging inferno, but I often think about a raging inferno. If you've ever seen one, it captivates you. I mean, it just pulls you in. Human beings love the sight of fire. I don't care what anybody says. You're lying if you say you don't. Now, hopefully it's not a situation where somebody might have gotten hurt. I'm not saying that's enjoyable to watch, but if you've just seen something in a raging inferno, you can't help but to look at it. This fragrance kind of reminds me of that aspect. So once again, from the Harmonist, this is Hypnotizing Fire. All right, guys, I got a couple from the House of Arabian Oud. First one, this is Rare Oud, or sorry, the Rare Oud. Arabian Oud, the Rare Oud. So this is new to the channel. I just got this, just bought this past week, but I've actually gotten a chance to wear it a couple of times, so that's why I am going to include it on the list. It's another one where it's just oud, specifically Thai oud. Let me tell you, this, I don't know if I'm going to say that it beats out Blue Oud, which I've talked about a lot as well. But this one just does give a different, more focused facet. It's just focusing on Thai oud. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. I'll save that for another video. We got too much to talk about. But it's more resinous and slightly spicy in nature. A more resinous form of oud. That's what it kind of dries down to. It just kind of has this resinous feel to it. Amazing quality stuff. Very expensive. This is only 30 milliliters. So the bottle looks bigger than it is, but you can see the dark part there maybe. I don't know if you can see it, but it's only 30 milliliters, and they had a sale where it's normally $400. It was 20% off, so I got it for $300. That's still very, very expensive, but super high quality stuff. Gotta be on the list because this is real oud in fragrance form, and it is amazing. Once again, from Arabian Oud, this is the Rare Oud. All right, and the other one from Arabian Oud, you probably already guessed it. It's Blue Oud. Arabian Oud, Blue Oud. So again, this is another fragrance that just gives you oud, but this one has two different types of oud, Cambodian oud and Thai oud, along with some musk in there. What I will say what this one probably gives over the other one I just talked about is it has a little bit more movement because it has multiple types of oud in it, and it is a better buy in terms of bang for your buck, where this is $400 and you get a 100 milliliter bottle and a raw oil with it. The other one, that's just the fragrance. So it is a better buy, but you know, that's another conversation. But yeah, this is a beautiful oud fragrance. I'd say it's still one of the best in terms of just giving you a really vivid picture of what oud can be in terms of presenting its own note breakdown for just the oud by itself. So once again, from Arabian Oud, this is Blue Oud. Okay guys, next one, coming from the House of Chanel. This is Le Lion de Chanel. Le Lion de Chanel, or the Lion. Listen, when I got my nose on this, and I did sample it before I bought this one, you talk about blowing my mind. Look, I liked Coromandel already. Coromandel was likely going to be my first exclusives Chanel purchase. I think that's what this line is called. Until I got my nose on this, and I was like, I don't know, it might need to be this one. Ultimately, this one won out. Coromandel is going to be next. Beautiful, slightly animalic, resinous fragrance in an ambery style fragrance presentation, so to speak. This is their, or at least they consider it to be their heaviest, darkest fragrance, so to speak, from in terms of, you know, freshness to heaviness. This is one they consider to be the heaviest. Mostly presenting labdanum. I like fragrances like this, so I had to have this, and it's easily one of my best pickups. Definitely a beastly style fragrance. So once again, from the House of Chanel, this is Le Lion de Chanel. All right, next one's coming from the house of Dior. We've got Dior Homme Parfum. Dior Homme Parfum. So this one actually allowed me to complete me getting the original Dior Homme line with the exception of Dior Homme O, which I think I can live without, to be honest. But yeah, this one is definitely my favorite out of the Dior Homme line. It's definitely my top iris-based fragrance in my collection to date. Beautiful, rich, makeup-y, creamy iris along with that leather in here. This stuff is amazing, and I'm so glad I got a bottle of it. I will admit I probably overpaid for this. It probably wasn't worth what I paid for it for. I got it from Fragrance Buy when they've got it like in stock right now. I guess they were able to get a pretty large stock of it, but I ain't gonna lie, it's overpriced, but I wanted it anyway, so I don't care. Definitely one of my best pickups for the year. So once again from Dior, it's Dior Homme Parfum. All right, next up from the house of Xerjoff, we have got 40 Knots. Xerjoff's 40 Knots. This is another one I somewhat got my nose on before I bought it. Kind of smelled it in passing. I didn't really get to test it, but when I got it in, I just kind of started wearing it more. First of all, the smell did blow me away. I was definitely impressed with it when I first smelled it. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then through the wearing experiences, it definitely became one of my favorite Xerjoff fragrances, and one I honestly feel like I gotta always have unless something better comes along. So, interesting aquatic fragrance, very ambery aquatic fragrance, very sweet. Not very sweet, but it has a really nice honey-like sweetness to it. I love this scent. This is easily one that was gonna be in my top 20, so it wasn't even a discussion. Once again from Xerjoff, we've got 40 Knots. All right, next up from the house of Amouage, this is Beach Hut Man. Amouage Beach Hut Man. Have I talked about this on the channel yet? I don't even know. But listen, this right here, when I first kind of smelled it, I knew it was good. I wasn't sure I was going to be blown away by it. I just kind of smelled it in passing. But once I got a bottle, I was kind of reaffirmed, like, no, I'm glad I was able to get this. It's been, kind of hard to find for a while. Love this scent. Instantly jumped to the top of the list. Not necessarily being the best Amouage I have, but it's right there, fighting out with my favorites. And I could honestly have this scent be like one of my just only scents. It's that good to me. This is easily a signature scent style fragrance for me. I won't go into too much how it smells, but it's got that spicy mint kind of resinous nature to it. Very interesting fragrance. Name is a little bit misleading. Doesn't make you think of a beach at all. Anyway, from the house of Amouage, this is Beach Hut Man. Next up from the house of Ormond Jane, we've got Montabaco Intensivo. Montabaco Intensivo. So this one here could possibly be my most worn fragrance in terms of how long I've had it. I've had this about since the middle of the year, and I think I've worn this one per volume the most. Cooling, refreshing, tea accords and air accords in here, and awesome leafy tobacco with some nice dried woods. Love this scent. Another one I honestly want to wear for the rest of my life. I haven't smelled anything else like it. Within the line, there's probably some similar stuff, but outside of the house, I don't know if there's anything even close to this. I haven't come across it. But man, this stuff is just good. I can wear it for anything. It just works so well. It gives me a great wearing experience, and it's easily gotta be in this top 20 list. So once again, from the house of Ormond Jane, Montabaco Intensivo. Next one's coming from the house of Tom Ford. We've got Tabaco Oud. Tom Ford, Tabaco Oud. So this was a blind buy. I would have to say this is probably my most successful blind buy of the year, because obviously I had no way to really know or see what this smells like. And I know people have said that this one can be a little bit tough for some people, but I took a chance on it. I love it. Blew me away when I got it. Love that kind of whiskey booziness it has. I love the tobacco notes in here. I like how the oud is used and the sandalwood and patchouli along with it. I think this is masterful. This one's probably more so based on scent alone, because from where I would use it standpoint, I wouldn't use it as often as I would use other fragrances. So this one alone is more of the scent alone just impressed me that much that it deserves to be on this list. Once again, from Tom Ford, this is Tabaco Oud. All right, next one coming from the house of Kajal. This is Lamar. Kajal's Lamar. First of all, the scent alone is mind-blowing. Definitely their most popular from the house, and I see why. Also, the bottle. I'm not one that be, too much of a stickler on presentation, but this is impressive. I mean, this just looks like luxury. But moreover, the scent is amazing as well. Beautiful pineapple fragrance featuring some rose, a little bit of a kind of a rosé wine kind of feel. There's some fruits in this, some toffee, some nice sweetness. I mean, this is just a summertime staple as far as I'm concerned. It's actually fairly versatile too. You can use this for a number of things. I wouldn't say it's a wear it anywhere fragrance, but this one definitely made my top 20 in terms of getting a pineapple scent that's something other than an Aventa style fragrance. So once again, from the house of Kajal, this is Lamar. Next up from Rose de Parfums, we've got Creation E/Enigma. Rose de Parfums Creation E/Enigma. So I imagine many of you guys are familiar with this scent DNA. I'm sure many of you either have this or the Parfum Cologne. You know it, spicy and sweet. Spices combining in a way to create this kind of effervescence, cola feeling to it. Wonderful tobacco in this fragrance and some very nice sweet accords. Great boozy night out fragrance. This one the quality of it just blows my mind. Ever since I got my nose on this, I knew I wanted to get it. I just finally went on ahead and jumped on it, and it blows my mind, and it's a fragrance I'm gonna wear more frequently. And yeah, I mean, come on, Creation E, it's Creation E, man. It's awesome. So once again, from the house of Rose de Parfums, Creation E/Enigma. All right, man, we finally made it to number 20 from the house of Le Labo. This is Tabac 28. Le Labo Tabac 28. So why is this one on the list? I went into Bloomingdale's with no intent of buying anything. Got my nose on a couple of things I wanted to get my nose on. Asked them, did they by chance have this? And they did. And I said, let me get my nose on it. Smelled it, bought it. I don't do that often. And this was expensive. It was very expensive. And I actually had to rearrange some things with my budget to cover it. So if I'm willing to do that, that must mean that I really do enjoy the scent. This blew my mind. I love wearing it. Amazing tobacco fragrance. Soaked in rum. I mean, it just smells like you're chilling down in Miami. I mean, and like celebrating grown man style in a cigar bar, enjoying some nice rum or cognac or something like that. That's what this fragrance smells like. It is insanely good. I think I did my top tobacco fragrances right before I bought this. And I was like, man, this would easily be on the list if I had had it before I made that video. So this will be in a later tobacco fragrances video for sure. Once again, from Le Labo, Tabac 28. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. See all that back there? That was my top 20 fragrance acquisitions for the year of 2023 in no particular order. So let me know down in the comments below. We're coming down into the end of the year. I imagine all of you guys do this. What's some of your best pickups for the year of 2023? They don't have to be 2023 releases. It's just fragrances you got in your collection that either blew your mind or has turned into something that you wear very, very frequently. I appreciate you guys watching all the way into the end. Remember to be well and smell well. And I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.